We are the Dead Mall men. We are alive and thriving. Blood is going through our veins every day. But it's always fun exploring something that is dead.
A place that was once thriving and full of joy now sits abandoned, and no one cares about it anymore. It's interesting.
Des Moines, Iowa. Des Moines, Iowa.
The S is silent.
Des Moines, Iowa has a few dead malls.
It's starting to gross me out how we're so into dead malls. It's giving the vibe of those people who try to have sex with dead people. So is that the vibe we're giving though? Because I don't want to give that vibe.
I mean, I didn't think we will, but for the first mall, we're going to visit Valley West Mall.
I love the name. Whenever I think of thriving malls in the 1980s, I think of a valley girl. Just valley. That word in general makes me think of a mall.
This mall opened in 1975. It has 3 anchor stores, but only 1 is left. These malls have anchor stores, which are the huge stores on the outside, and they are supposed to bring in business to the smaller stores in the inside. Usually the anchor stores are like JC Penney's, Kohl's.
Yeah, the big department stores.
This mall wasn't always dead. According to Wikipedia, in the year 2000, Valley West was the Des Moines area's most visited mall with an average of 40,000 shoppers a day. To be honest, I didn't think malls in Des Moines would get that many shoppers a day.
Now, that place was packed.
It's pretty depressing to walk through. More closed storefronts than open. Better off going to Jordan Creek Mall where there are actual places to shop.
Wow, the mall is a mess. Tore up and it looks deserted. Just didn't hear yup go in. What? If somebody's illiterate, should we really take their opinion seriously? Just kidding. I'm okay with everyone, regardless of if you can read.
Jordan Creek Mall is the mall that kind of took over all the other malls. We have been to Jordan Creek Mall before, and I can understand why it's the #1 mall there simply because it has a cheesecake factory. It seems like when a mall has a cheesecake factory, they immediately become the #1 mall in the area.
Also, it has like a giant fountain lake thing, right?
Yeah. There is parking all along the outside of the mall. 90% of it is empty, but there is one area where everyone is parked. So we decided to park in that area.
It is kind of eerie driving around the abandoned sections though. Just looks like a nuclear explosion happened and everyone's dead.
We strolled in and right away we started seeing vacant stores. Stores where no one is inside, no products are inside. They are dead. And if you walk inside, you immediately die too.
You know how these have cages on the front of them? Why don't they utilize this space for a jail? Like they might as well just lock people in there. What's the point of having jails if there's already all these dead malls with jailed cells?
Then you look over and you immediately see one of the empty, vacant anchors of the mall.
Anchor stores are so big that it just looks like an entire section of the mall is closed off. Like you look in and you see escalators and stuff. I'm surprised they didn't black this out because it just looks so abandoned and scary.
Yeah, because when I look at it, I immediately get goosebumps and I feel like the end of the world is coming sooner than I think. Because I know the world is gonna end in the next 6 months, but I feel like this makes it feel like it's gonna end like tomorrow.
I know.
And then you go to the other side of the mall and you see the other vacant anchor store, which is covered with trash bags. No, it just is a big black tarp. Do you think it's better when they cover it or leave it open? I'm gonna say I like it when they don't cover it because I actually just love seeing the inside, but I also get why they cover it because it just gives such bad vibes seeing the inside of these vacant, huge stores.
But it's still bad vibes just seeing a big trash bag covering it too. Because most malls try to put art in those spaces. You know, they try to make it more of like a selfie wall moment.
We were kind of depressed at this point, but then we saw the one anchor store that is left, JC Penney.
Woo! And you would picture, since it's the one anchor store in a kind of dead mall, it would be all run down. But they made this JC Penney a moment, and there were a lot of people in there.
This mall does have a glass elevator, which is a mall classic. You gotta have the glass elevator to entice everyone.
Yeah, right in the smack dab middle of the mall. It's the centerpiece of the entire place. This mall in general, we were saying when we were walking through it, it's nice. Like it actually has great bones.
So many windows to let in light. I love natural light. Plants splattered across the mall, which, you know, you gotta love the, oh my gosh, I'm in nature, even though you're actually in the least nature thing on earth, a mall. This was definitely more of a luxury mall, I would say, because it's 2 levels. So it is a huge mall. It has escalators, and the bathroom has a sitting area.
Wow.
When a bathroom has a sitting area, you kind of know, like, it's business.
Mall bathrooms always bring bad vibes to me, though, because when you're a kid and you go to the mall with your mom, it always is the vibe of the bathroom area is the kidnap central place. Okay, be really careful in there because there's a lot of kidnappers.
No, to this day, I have so much like memories of mall bathrooms, people telling me they're scary, that I actually am always scared in a mall bathroom, and I always just whip my penis out, pee, pull my pants up, but I never wash my hands because I always think like, I already know someone's gonna try to snatch me up.
Was that just a thing in our family? Seeing this completely empty mall food court really makes you realize, okay, this mall is struggling right now. There's not one food place. There was a group of ladies who were making it a card playing moment in the corner. So at least they were utilizing the space.
Something else about a dud mall is that it's always gonna be used for people to walk around during the winter. So in these colder states where it snows, usually it's older people, even though me and Lucas sometimes do this, walking the whole perimeter of a mall and to get your steps in and live a healthy life.
Now,
So
there was
people
a
are always
lot.
doing that.
There was a lot of people walking through the mall. It was like a hiking trail.
This was insane though. There was these neon lights that reminded me so much of an 80s movie. Some of the lights weren't even working. We were hungry for lunch and we saw the food court had nothing in it. Looked around and we did see there was a few food places that weren't in the food court. There was a Blaze Pizza, a Chipotle. I think that's all it was, but maybe there was some others. And it got me thinking, why are these not in the food court? But then I started to get my business brain working and I realized that they're not in the food court because they are located right by the entrance of the mall. This food court was on the 2nd level of the mall, so you have to go down an escalator, go down a staircase to get to it. Whereas with the Blaze and Chipotle ones, you could just like stop by, grab your food and go. It's really easy.
The Chipotle Blaze Pizza section of the mall was busy. Like, those are some good restaurants to be renting out there.
Both of us got Blaze Pizza and we decided to eat outside. So
Yes.
that's what I love about these malls is that they have indoor seating inside the Blaze Pizza, but then you can eat on the outside and you're actually still inside, but you're outside of the restaurant, so it feels like you are outside.
It feels like you're eating at a sidewalk cafe in France.
Yeah, it did. While we were eating, we could stare at the closed down GNC. And I was thinking, oh, it's probably not closed down. It's probably just open on the weekends. We were there on a weekday. But then if you look closer, there's actually boxes everywhere. So it is closed. Now we decided it was time to explore the entire mall, just fully get a glimpse of everything. And we started to realize that probably 50% of it is empty. Or do you think it would be higher than that?
Probably higher.
Yeah, maybe 80 or something. But I realized that a way to hide the empty stores that this mall did was spreading them apart. So they would have a store that isn't empty, then an empty store. And it was basically like every other. Sometimes there was a few empty ones throughout. And I think that's a good way to make it seem like it's not empty, even though it is.
That is true, but you would think maybe they would want to have them all congregated together and then kind of block off the empty sections so you can't even see them. But then if they blocked off parts of the mall, then people can't use it as a hiking trail. So that would be not smart.
There was a store that had leaves on the outside and it was like art. So they are utilizing the empty stores in some ways. Then there was also a store that had Connect 4 and it had like backdrops to take photos and stuff. Like they basically turned this empty store into like a play area / like Instagram photo shoot.
But then they also have Selfie World.
This was closed on the day we were going, but it did look like it was still open. And I'm just gonna assume Selfie World is you just go to different rooms and take photos.
That's what I would picture. But then when you look in, it didn't really seem like that.
Something that a lot of malls are doing nowadays to keep them alive are doing like interactive experiences. I feel like that's a way to get visitors in. So this one had the Selfie World, which was kind of like, oh my gosh, it's an activity to do.
I was excited because most malls have a nail salon, and And I've noticed my feet are kind of turning into old man feet. So I was like, okay, I need to get a pedi ASAP. But Hollywood Nails was closed. Like, I thought at least they would have a nail salon in there. So I still have the old man feet.
We have been walking on the mall probably for like 30 minutes and we started to realize like there's nowhere to go shopping to like blow some money at. But then little photos like this kind of get you brainwashed again because you see this really attractive girl and you're like, maybe I'll be just as attractive as her if I do have as many bags as her. So
let's shop. And then she seems like she's so happy with her purchases.
This was a closed store, but there's something moving. Ghost alert?
Oh my God, did you just capture paranormal activity on camera?
Well, it makes sense actually. It's a dead mall, so maybe the soul of the dead mall is like getting conjured in certain areas. This store had a sign that said open, but it actually wasn't open. This store looks like it's actually like still is open, like there's a bunch of clothing and it's not all messy. So there probably is a few stores at this mall that are just opened on the weekends when it's the busiest. This mall does still have a lot of the usual mall stuff. A bunch of massage chairs. Every mall has those. You put $1 in, I don't know, maybe $5. You get a 5-minute massage on this gross chair that's worn out that probably has a bunch of gross fluids on it. They also had a few like arcade kid games and there was some vending machines. This one says healthy snacks, but then you look on the inside and it just is a bunch of junk food.
Yeah, so they probably had the idea like, okay, people want to eat healthier. Also, we want to provide healthy food to our consumers. But then they realized nobody's buying the celery sticks. Like, they just want Snickers and Doritos and Cheetos. Every single kiosk was completely dead, which was nice because nobody was trying to harass you. You know how usually it's someone with a curling iron saying, let me curl your hair, watch me iron this shirt. It's like, just leave me alone. Please leave me alone.
No, I actually hate walking on a mall. And there's people that like know how to fix the iPhone screen and they say, we know your iPhone's broke. Do you want us to fix it for $50? It's like, no. My name is no. My number is no.
But there was one open kiosk selling books or something, but luckily nobody was even there, so nobody was harassing anyone.
Even though this is a dead mall, they still have a bunch of like upper echelon type stores. There was this hair salon that looked really nice.
I know, it actually looked very bougie. Like, sometimes I watch these lifestyle girlies, and whenever they vlog getting their hair done, it's at places like this. This was like for the rich and famous of Des Moines. And then a very money vibe, lens crafters.
You just had to be there because in this little corner of the mall, it just gave the vibe of everyone had a black card, but they didn't actually have a black card. They had that one black card that is actually just like a Visa card, but you can like buy it for like $100 a year or something.
Another dining option this mall featured was the Chocolatieri Stam. You walk in and it's one of those chocolate shops that looks so pristine. Like, it feels like you're in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
It was honestly magical.
Right outside the chocolate shop, there were 2 chairs and a table next to a railing. And this is actually where I had my first white chocolate item. I got all white chocolate, by the way. And this one was good. It had a little bit too much nut. I would have just preferred if it was all white chocolate. Nuts, 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 nuts.
I actually got so many chocolates, I forgot every one I got, but the chocolate I ate at this sitting area was so good. It just added to the ambiance. Looking around. This was during Christmas when we went and there was a whole Santa thing on the bottom. And that Santa was bored because when we walked past it, he said, Merry Christmas! And then he said, ho, ho, ho. Like, he just wanted anyone to act like he's Santa. But unfortunately, we didn't sit with Santa. Then there was this other sitting area that kind of felt like you were in New York City eating on the side of the street. A bunch of stone.
Yeah, we were right underneath a skylight, kind of. I ate another one of my little white chocolates and it was great.
I was in this mood that day where eating this chocolate made me feel love. Like, think of the Donna Summer song, I Feel Love. Like, that's actually how I felt, inside and out.
Like that.
One of the experiments we were conducting in this video was looking at every trash can and just seeing what was happening. Each trash can was only about 10% full. But I did notice there was a janitor going to every trash can, emptying it. This leads me to believe the trash cans are not empty because no one throws away trash. They're empty because the janitor's continuously emptying them. Maybe you're wondering, this mall, yes, it is dead. There's a bunch of vacant stores, but I feel like to revive it, they should have like a Volvo in the middle where you can like sign up and say, oh my gosh, maybe I'll win. They don't have that, but they do have a little jackpot thing where you can win a trip to the Bahamas for 2.
And you would think this would be the perfect place to join a sweepstakes because not many people go to this mall. So maybe only 5 people will enter. You have a 1 in 5 chance of winning. About ready to sign us up, but then Jacob said, it's just gonna send us a bunch of spam and it's all a scam. And they actually explicitly said, we won't sell your data, but it's like, well, what's the point of this then? Someone's getting money from it. It isn't just a little fun handout. Nothing's free in this world. Somebody's getting their pockets lined. And so how else are they gonna do that besides selling the info? Dear universe, please send positive, successful vibes to the Valley West Mall in Des Moines, Iowa. We had a splendid time there, and I hope there's so many deep pockets of rich wealth coming right towards it. Thank you.
I want to see an even worse dead mall. And we actually stumbled upon a jackpot at Southridge Mall in Des Moines, Iowa. We didn't know this until someone at the chocolate place at Valley West Mall told us, but I guess Southridge Mall recently sold for $4 million to a new owner. Even though the mall we're about to visit is abandoned, it might have a future still because someone bought it. This mall also opened in 1975. It has 7 anchors and 3 are vacant. They have a big Target, they have a Hy-Vee, they have a Genesis Health Club.
I loved how when you pull up to this one, it looks so scary. All boarded up and taped up.
This one honestly didn't even look like a mall to me. It looked more like a strip mall. It's desolate of stores. It does not have much shopping for a mall. No recommendation.
Terrible, no stores, dirty and old. Movie theater is closed now. Still terrible.
We decided to drive around the whole mall. It turns out we actually didn't drive around the whole mall because we actually missed the entrance of the mall, like the big grand entrance.
Really?
Yeah, so we didn't get to see the front of it because we honestly thought it was abandoned because there was no one in this parking lot. There was a big anchor store that you could tell used to be a Yonkers, which is now empty. And there also was an AMC that, yeah, is now closed, but it had a bunch of boarding around it. Like this one really felt dead.
I'm just surprised the AMC even closed. Because even if a mall's dead, people still want to see movies.
There is parts of the mall that still feel fresh. Like we ended up parking, we got out of the car. It didn't look so abandoned in the part we were at.
But then we walked up to the door and it was locked.
We were confused. We were like, wait, so is this actually just a strip mall? It's not a mall anymore? But then we found this other mall entrance and thankfully we could enter.
If you thought the other mall was dead, honey, you're in for a wake-up call.
This felt straight out of a scary movie to me.
I know, this actually felt like a zombie apocalypse.
There was no music being played. It was completely silent. There was a hallway littered with stock photos of people shopping, and it's supposed to like entice you to shop. Southridge, a new shopping experience. I don't know what the new shopping experience is. But
it's that there's no stores. Honestly, I would have been way more terrified going through this, but there were 2 other people there just walking around, so it felt more safe. But if it was just us, I don't know if I would have been brave enough, to be honest. For some reason, it actually was so eerie.
You end up walking on this other hallway with vacant stores that leads to this big, I thought it was a stage, but it also could have previously been for a merry-go-round. Then it further just felt abandoned because there was caution tape all around it.
And they really didn't want anyone going on that stage.
There was this like alien technology thing at the top, which it might have been cameras, but I'm just gonna say it was alien technology. There was a community college and then there's like Drake University. So there is stuff in this part of the mall, but it's not even shop shopping. This also made it worse. This one was closed and it had chains on the outside. I feel like I hadn't seen that yet. I'd seen those like bars on the outside, and I've also seen those curved things, but I haven't seen chains yet.
I know, like you would think they would all just have the same cages, but this one decided to go down a different route.
We were probably in this part of the mall for like 5 minutes. I just wanted to get out of there. In my entire life, this is the most liminal space place I've ever been in.
Say you're the human version of this mall. You've been beaten down. You're disgusting. You're on the ground. Everyone says, you're nothing. You're nothing. Somebody else might rescue you. I'm just kidding. That's actually really bad advice, but you could rescue yourself.
Boom. I would say the dead mallmen have got our fix for the next few months, probably.
I enjoyed this.